Hi guys, I'm Alicia Camacho and welcome to this week's episode. I'm really glad to be back and doing episodes, and I have a lot of things planned for this year and for the next couple of weeks. I've got some really interesting episodes coming out, so hopefully you guys are as excited as what I am. This week though, I am talking about something that's quite important. We normally have this thing called New Year's resolutions and they never work out. By this time, most people have forgotten what they promised themselves in the first week of January. This year I decided to not look at it as a resolution, but more of like a lifestyle change and a mindset change, because I think sometimes we all just need a little bit of a reset. Really try and discover what it is I wanted for 2020 and what it is I wanted to achieve in this year, because this year is a pretty big year for me. I turned 25 this year, which is really scary in my books, and it's scary for a lot of reasons. And so I thought, okay, I need to do a lot of introspection and just see for myself, nothing else other than just being like, okay, Alicia, 2019 was this kind of year for you. What are you going to do about it in 2020? What are you going to do? As I was preparing for this episode, I was like, okay, there are definitely some things, and I wanted to talk about how to plan for your goals and what you want to do. I was just thinking, I need to be honest. And so, this is it. 2019 was a terrible year for me. I'm not going to lie. Okay, straight out there, rip the band-aid off. 2019 was a terrible year for me. I spent most of 2019 feeling very angry, disappointed, and frustrated. Really with myself, because I felt like I hadn't achieved anything in my 24 years of life. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself at 24, but I did, and this came a lot from comparing my life to seeing how other people, what they had achieved, or what my parents had achieved by the time they were 24. Just generally, careers and relationships and friendships and jobs and people buying houses and people having babies, and so many things were happening, and I was just still in my little spot. Felt like I hadn't moved. I felt like I hadn't achieved anything. Quite honestly, I felt like a failure. I fell into this constant anger thing. Right? I was angry at God, for instance. Everybody keeps telling you that everything happens in God's time, and you're like, okay, great, fine, don't mind that, but can you please just, when is God's time? If it's not now, then when is it gonna be? Till God's time, what do I do? Because I was trying to plan so many things, I was trying to achieve so many things, I was looking at different angles, and nothing was even working out for that. So I was just like, what am I meant to be doing? I was really angry at people. This one hurts me the most because I was angry at everyone. Although I would never show anybody, I would never outright say I was angry with you, because you genuinely didn't do anything wrong. Sounds really silly, but I was angry at their kindness. I was angry at their understanding. I was angry at their support, because it just felt like I didn't have anything else to offer. It frustrated me because I just felt like I wasn't doing my part. I didn't deserve, or I don't deserve this level of support or understanding. Then I got angry at myself for so many reasons. I was angry at myself for wanting to be an actor. Who thinks I'm gonna be an actor and then follows that dream? Now, I know it means a lot. My parents are the most incredible people on the planet. I felt guilty all the time because they were still supporting me at 24 years old. And I just felt frustrated that I hadn't got it anyway. Felt frustrated that I was rejected, even for the smallest. I aimed so low when it came to applying for a job or wanting a job, and even in that I got rejected. So I just felt like for the longest time I wasn't good enough. I think that's why, one of the reasons why I couldn't fully appreciate the fact that I published my own book. I'm a published freaking author and I'm complaining about my life. I felt like it wasn't mine. It's a big deal. Not everybody gets to be published, but in my mind, it was just big whoop. So you got published. 2019 was a rough year for me. and I didn't want to be that person anymore. I wanted to start looking at things differently and in a more positive way, because the negativity wasn't getting me anywhere other than just being angry all the time and very emotional. Essentially, my goal for 2020 is actually to be like positive and less angry about things, and to appreciate the little moments that come and my achievements, no matter how big or small they are, because they are achievements, right? Right now, it's still really difficult to get excited about things. Like, if something is possibly gonna happen, like last year I would have been like, oh, it's not gonna happen, like what are the chances? But this year I'm trying to be like, it could happen. And another thing that I'm doing in 2020 is taking full advantage of every opportunity that is being presented to me. One of the most positive people in my family is my brother, and I'm also trying to channel his inner thinking of like how I should be and how I should think, because he, of all people, is just like the smartest, and like somehow he just gets you. Like, my brother is really amazing. So I'm trying to be positive like him, and I know that he would say to be positive about things because you have nothing to lose. You have to make an effort to be positive. And if I want things to come my way, I have to be positive. So I have made a list of things that I want to achieve in 2020. This is my diary. It is an Alexa Lily diary. I'm literally just plugging this because it is one of the nicest things ever. But one of the things that they did for this year is they did a page, your yearly view, okay? And they had like your focus for 2020. And then they had a do more column and a do less column. These are the things that I'm aiming to achieve to do in 2020. Okay, so in my do less list, overthinking. Now, overthinking is like part of my DNA. We'll be talking about something and then I overthink and then I say something, and then literally my dad will turn around to me and goes, how did you get that from that? And I'm like, well, that's the way I think. That's how quickly I can move from one end to another when it comes to my thoughts, and letting people's opinions affect me. I was very worried and concerned about what people were gonna say when I came back home after I moved. I was worried because then everybody was like, oh, what are you doing? Have you done this? Blah, blah, blah. And everybody knew that I was moving to Portugal because I wanted to get into the entertainment industry in South Africa. What am I doing back here? Everybody was just asking me questions all the time, and it got like overwhelming sometimes because it was constant. It was like a constant reminder that I hadn't achieved what I set out to achieve. And I think that's what made me angry as well. It's just I was just tired of answering that question. Thinking I can't ask for help. This is a big one because I'm used to being by myself all the time, right? I get used to doing it all alone. And this year I need to learn that it's okay to ask for help if I need it. I don't really know how to ask for help. I kind of just hope that people see that I'm struggling and then offer help. That I need to actually ask for help if I want to be happier. Do less of expecting the worst. In my mind, I'd rather expect the worst and then be surprised than to expect the best and then be disappointed. Maybe it's a realistic way of thinking, but honestly, it's also a very negative way about thinking, of thinking of things. Now for the do more, being positive. That goes without saying. That's basically what I want to be in 2020. Positive. It's really difficult. I know life is just a real crackerjack of an asshole. Speaking my mind. I let a lot of things slip last year in the sense where people just had opinions about me and not always great, or they just assumed certain things, and I figured that this year is going to be the year that I really just speak my mind. Set yourself free. Just say it. Whatever comes of it, comes of it. Maybe it's meant to happen, maybe it's not. Do more of what makes me happy. For the longest time, I've been thinking, okay, if I do this, I'm going to wait and it's going to happen. I'm be prepared. I'm like always pre-prepared to the point where it's like you cut an apple open and you just let it sit and then I brown. I'm overly prepared. I feel like I'm going to live life while I can, okay? And then if things happen, then they happen and then it's fine. Why am I going to sit and wait while I could be living life, you know. Be brave and bold. A lot to do with like relationships and stuff. I've always been so shy of, you know me, talking to guys and putting myself out there. You know, being single for 24, 25 years is a very long time to be single, you know. Which is why this year I'm going to be making more of a concerted effort to talk to someone. You know, if I want to start talking to a guy, I'm gonna message him. I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up? What is the worst that could happen? He doesn't respond. He doesn't like me. He just wants to be friends. I don't mind. I need more friends. Grow my faith. So as I said, being pretty mad at God, but never stop loving him. We just gotta work on our relationship, and I just wanna make more time for him in my life and just understand him better and learn what he has to teach me. Allow myself to be happy about things. So if I get my goal is to get to like 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel by June. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but if I get 61 subscribers by next week, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to allow myself to be happy about the small achievements that I make, because it's important to celebrate you and what you can do. So actually allow myself to be happy that I published a book. Be really, really, really freaking chuffed that I published a book. Like, not many people can say that. I have these goals and I have these things to try and make my 2020 a more positive year for myself, because I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be angry. I want to just be happy and, you know, be able to face life head on. As I mentioned, I want to try and get to 100 subscribers by June this year. So that means I need 40 more people to be interested in what I have to say, and that'd just be really, really cool. Please like, share, and subscribe to this episode and to my channel. If you want, you can follow me on my social media, which is Alicia Camacho _official. Then if you would like to buy a copy of my book, it is now available everywhere, guys. So there is literally no limit as to where you can purchase my book. It is available worldwide. In South Africa, you can go to your usual places like TAKEALOT, Exclusive Books, or The Loot. Please support me. I would love to get a picture of you with my book. Send it to me on my Instagram and I will repost it. Also, let me know which one is your favorite poem. Here is to a positive 2020. Remember, you are awesome, you are great, and you are loved.